Because our circumstances have no choice but to mirror what's going on within us, our circumstances are always going to show us where we are at, what state we are in, and what is going on within our subconscious mind that we are not aware of. It's going to show within our circumstances. It's going to be reflected back to us through other people, situations, things that pop up, all of it. Hi, I'm Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I just sat down to meditate and I was like, what does the collective need to hear today? You guys know I always do this nowadays. I wasn't before, but I feel like I want to be more current, so this is just how we're flowing, and I really like doing this now because it feels more correct to me. So first, what came up in my meditation was being in survival mode, because I feel like I have been in survival mode pretty much since moving here and a little bit before moving here, because I realized I'm gonna have all these big responsibilities now that I'm no longer living with my parents, and I didn't need to pay rent on my parents, which thank you, parents. And that being said, when you rent a place, you gotta pay your rent, you gotta pay your bills, you got more responsibilities than you would when you don't. And that kind of threw me into like a scarcity mindset, a survival mode, if you will, where I was fearing, what if I mess up? And I carried that on throughout my move, and I'm still carrying it on. I think I'm carrying it a little less because I've been here for, I want to say like 2.5 months, and I'm getting a little more comfortable with being back out in the world and providing for myself fully in this type of way. But my circumstances are still reflecting back to me the mindset of survival mode, the mindset of scarcity. And although it's not too extreme in the sense of like I'm about to run out of money, I see it more reflected back to me in how my place isn't decorated yet, and I've been here for 2.5 months, like I said. And it's because I still feel scared to spend extra money on extra things. But if those extra things are going to bring you joy and they're going to be exciting for you, then you should do so, because that will take you out of the survival mode. That will take you out of the scarcity mindset. If you're also simultaneously working on your limiting beliefs, which I am, although I find myself struggling a little bit with it, I still am, and I'm working through that. And the more I show myself that I can take care of myself, the more I feel safe with myself, and I feel like I can trust myself to not just give up when the going gets tough, because I feel like the going has been pretty, maybe not super tough, but not easy this whole time. And so going back to the circumstances reflect where you are at internally, I can see that very clearly when I look around my place and I see, oh, I just have a bed, I have a dead plant, I have 2 chairs, and this table came with the place. I can see that physically. I can also see it in just like the way I exist in the world, how I'm very cautious to not overspend, which is a good thing to be. It's good to be cautious, but also it's not really a way to live if you want to be thriving, if you want to feel like you can go anywhere and do anything and you'll be okay. I don't really feel like that, but I know the way I'm gonna get there is taking into account, okay, let me look at my circumstances. They're not what I prefer, but they're also not what I don't prefer. They're somewhere neutral, which doesn't necessarily make it easier to work with than having circumstances that aren't desirable, because you can change any circumstances at any time. But it does show that my limiting beliefs aren't nearly as limiting as they used to be, because I was in circumstances that were even less preferable a few years ago. And so I can look at that and be like, okay, so we've done a lot of work to get here. And that being said, there's still more to go. There will always be more to go. Even when the circumstances are exactly what you want them to be, there's always going to be more challenges in life, because that is how creation expands, and we are a part of creation. So therefore we have to keep expanding. But we can move from survival mode to thriving mode. And when we're in survival mode, the challenges we have are more like problems. And when we're in thriving mode, the challenges we have are just straight up challenges. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a challenge. Or even like a rich people problem, like a problem where it's like, oh, I can't decide what birthday cake I want. Like I had that problem this year. So therefore it's not like I'm in a bad situation. It's more just like, okay, we have challenges. How are we going to solve them? But when I do enter into survival mode, that mind state, it becomes like, okay, these aren't just challenges, Julia. These are problems. And if you don't solve these problems, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to live here. You're not going to be able to sustain yourself, whatever. That's what it feels like when we're in survival mode. Any little thing that goes wrong feels like the end of the world. We feel like a victim to our circumstances. And we don't realize that we can change them by changing our inner world. And so I'm at a place, obviously, I've been doing a lot of inner work. You guys know, you guys see it. I feel like if you're watching this with me, you have been too. We all have been. And we're at a place where we're doing a little better, but we're not quite where we want to be right meow. And I think the best thing to do is to get clear on what that is. Because even like I sit here right now and I'm like, yeah, this is good, but it could be better. But what is better? You know? I know for myself, I'm manifesting a new passion to kind of throw my energy into, something to be obsessed with in a healthy way that adds to my life and other people's lives. And at the same time, when we're in survival mode, it can be hard to feel passionate. It can be hard to enter that state so that we can take a step. Hello? So basically, what I think it comes down to is we need to take a second to step back, re-regulate our nervous system once we realize we are in survival mode. Once we feel like, okay, we're clearer, we're more relaxed, we're more calm, we're okay, then from that place, we'll feel clear enough to actually figure out what we really want. But we can't do that when we're dysregulated and we're in survival mode, because we're gonna perceive things in a negative light and not be able to perceive the resources that we have and the expansiveness that we could be. Anyway, I just got a really bad phone call and I want to continue this video, but I have to start figuring a few things out. I'm probably booking a flight, so I'm sorry if this is short. I want to wrap this up because I want to post this on Saturday for you guys. Circumstances aren't looking so hot right now, but that's okay. That is a part of life. We aren't always going to be dealt the most amazing circumstances. Things happen and we have to accept them, feel the feelings of them, regulate, and then we can move forward into better states. But we can't do that unless we deal with what is here and now, because otherwise it's just bypassing and the same things will repeat over and over and over again. So I will talk to you guys in my next video next week. I love you guys so much. Bye.